Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Ricardo Cabrera, and I am the Director of Operations at the Latino Chamber of Commerce of Boulder County. And today we have Byron Walker, who is the membership chair for the Entrepreneurs Organization in Colorado. Byron, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, Ricardo. Thanks for having me here. Yeah, I'm a small business owner here in Colorado. Had my business for the last 11 years now. And yeah, just small business owner. And, that's generally described between 1 million and 20 million and all the fun ins and outs of running a business here in Colorado. But I love it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thanks for stopping by. And so, Byron, tell me a little bit about Entrepreneurs Organization. So, what is it and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so I'm the membership chair. It's an all voluntary board. And so obviously I run my own business on the day to day, but the members help run the Entrepreneurs Organization, or also called EO for short. And the EO is actually a global organization. So in 61 countries around the world, um, I think we're just shy of 200 chapters all around the world, so 14,000 members. So it's actually a very large organization. The Colorado chapter is one of the largest and strongest of the chapters. So we have 120 members, very active, very engaged members. And, like I said, it's, basically 120 local business owners out of Colorado that get together in various different ways.
Wow, that's awesome. So it's a global group, a lot of membership, a lot of chapters, and Colorado is the largest one. That's great. So you guys have been around for how many years, you said?
I believe EO has been around for about 30 years now, so it's quite a while. And like I said, it's a great organization as far as how deep it is, and just the connections within the community. And a lot of it is about peer-to-peer learning. As business owners, we're a different breed, we can say. Not everyone gets us, and unless someone has been through the process of laying people off or firing people or hiring people and all the challenges that go with hiring, meeting payroll, unless you have a business, a lot of people don't get it. And so by having this EO group of, business owners that can get together on a weekly basis or monthly basis, there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning that helps business owners. It's helped me immensely. I joined 7 years ago. This is my first year on the board, but I joined EO 7 years ago, and my business has been through several ups and downs. And without EO and the people involved, I don't know, it would have been a different game. So EO has certainly provided a lot of support for me and a lot of business owners.
That's great. So it's sort of a support group and sharing of experiences and maybe a little mentorship and mentoring that you can get from that if you're a member. Do you guys have like a weekly or a monthly meeting, or is it all like an online, on-demand type of a thing?
It's both. So, but there are weekly events. There's usually 2 or 3, sometimes 4 events each week. So many that you get to pick and choose which ones apply to you and your business the best. Some are educational, some are coaching events, some are just social and networking. And just get together and have fun. This year, obviously with COVID, things have changed a little bit. And so we've moved to some of those events are virtual and some of those events are still in person. Of course, we have to meet all the COVID, Denver and Colorado laws, but it's a handful of both. And being able to get together with business owners, and again, a lot of them are educational and some are just getting together. And so you can talk with other business owners. In fact, one thing I'll mention too is part of EO is a forum. And so what that means is you are put together with 7 to 8 other business owners, non-competing, and each month you meet with them on a one-on-one basis or as a group. And that's really where you're able to go deep and really kind of go into some of the more detailed issues of your business and the challenges that you're having with the business, and strictly confidential. And there's just a lot of support there, as well as, again, resources and best practices on, other business owners who've been through probably what you're going through and how they got through a similar situation.
Well, all of those sounds like a lot of good reasons as to why to join entrepreneurs organizations. So what else can you expect if you join this group?
Well, there's several things, but if you can look at it this way, there's two areas within EO. The primary part of EO is for businesses that are over $1 million in annual revenue. And so that's EO proper. And then there's another subgroup of EO, which is called Accelerator. And that's for businesses that are between $250,000 and $1 million in annual revenue. And that Accelerator program is really, really neat. The whole goal is for business owners to get from that 250,000 or wherever they're at to the $1 million mark profitably. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so it's a growth program. It's a educational coaching. A lot of resources go into that Accelerator program to help business owners over the course of about 2 years, sometimes 3 years, get over that $1 million annual revenue profitably, have a well-ran company, have systems in place so you can start stepping back out of the day-to-day operations of the business. And so there's two parts of EO there. And both are, depending on where your business is at, is very helpful. I have always been in over the $1 million range, but I've coached in the Accelerate program, and that's been very, very fulfilling. Giving back to the group, giving back to the organization, and helping businesses get over the $1 million threshold.
Wow, that's awesome. So it sounds like the only requirement is that you have to have $250,000 revenue or more to join the Accelerator program, and then you have the EO proper, which is $1 million and more, and that definitely, the goal there is to get you above and beyond that and continue to be successful. Excellent program. Yeah. So you mentioned COVID earlier, Byron, so tell me about that. How have your businesses been dealing with that, and what suggestions do you have for anybody listening to deal with COVID right now and to get through this pandemic?
Yeah, boy, it's been a crazy year, and a lot of the businesses in EO are actually doing very well. Obviously, there's some that are struggling, especially more in the restaurant or entertainment side. But whether you're struggling or doing well this year, there's a lot of resources to help business owners navigate through this COVID experience. Even like the logistical side of, keeping safe and complying with local laws. But also in a big one was the PPP, getting those loans from the government. There was so much concentrated effort for the members on the PPP and applying and getting approved and getting through that process because it was so confusing. And everyone who's been through that can say the same thing. And so there was a lot of resources to help our members get through that. And we all got through it so much faster and better than businesses that weren't in EO, unless they had some great connection with someone else. And so a lot of resources there. And now there's a lot of resources within EO on how to, get that loan forgiven, because that's the next step, of course, now. And so a lot of resources, again, going back into the COVID or PPP, just because we're in this together. It's a nonprofit organization. And so really everyone's in it for the same reason, and that is to help small businesses survive this crazy year and then, get to the point where they can actually be doing very well with COVID or with any, economic downturn, whatever it is. And I know, some businesses are thriving even more this year than they were last year. And so now the challenge is hiring. Finding the right people that we can bring in, to the companies. And there again, a lot of resources on the best techniques and resources for hiring people. So depends on which side of the coin you're on, right? But either way, a lot has gone into this year because it is a different year for business owners.
Oh yeah, it's been a different year for everybody in many different levels. Great resources, great help. It sounds like, I understand a little bit about the PPP application process and the forgiveness process and how it changes every week. So it really is a difficult thing to try to keep up with personally. But if you have a resource to help you understand, that's a wonderful thing. So Byron, let me ask you this.
It's a moving target, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it is. They as somebody said, they were. It was like trying to build a plane as you're taking off to put this whole thing together, and they were trying to figure it out as they were building it and taking off and flying. So anyway, tell me, Byron,
Sounds
about diversity in your group. Do you have goals to diversify, invite for? Obviously, we're talking with the Latino chamber, so how can we be a part of that? As clients, I guess.
So yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you asked. Diversity has been a big push for us for the last 3 or 4 years. So just to back up, 4 years ago, there were very few women in and I'll get to the Latino side in a moment, but there were very few women in EO. As a percentage of business owners, obviously there's a smaller percentage of women business owners. But that has been increasing lately. And 3 years ago, EO Colorado made it a focus to bring in more businesses that are owned by women in Colorado. And now we're 30% women business owner membership. And so just all that effort went into that, and we've done a great job. Now we're pivoting into other diversity. So Latino is certainly a big focus of ours here, being in Colorado. And so this year in particular, we're actually doing a grant. It's a $1,000 grant that goes towards the EO membership. And there's a few things that you have to do to qualify for that, but more or less, we want Latino-owned businesses to come into our group. And we have a few already, but we need to expand that. We want to, again, we're all in this for the same reason. And that is to grow our own businesses, to help other business owners and support them in this journey. And it's just a better place when we have diversity to grow and be a part of that community. And so it is a big focus of ours, both this year and the next 2 years. Again, we kind of do a big push for the next 3 years. And so that's, to answer your question on the Latino side, a big focus of ours this year. And as membership chair, obviously, that's why we're talking here today.
Excellent. So on that note, why don't you tell us how to get a hold of you? Give me a website address, a phone number maybe, or an email address. I'll put all of this on the description down here, so you guys, our listening public, can get it there. And go ahead, tell us how to get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'll give you the EO website first of all. So the website is eonetwork.org/Colorado. Okay. And so there you can see more about the organization, more about the local chapter. There's an application on there if you want to apply. It is more than just having a certain revenue level. There are some other qualifying factors, but most of it all, it's having the right revenue and then being someone that wants to be a part of something and wants to give back to the group and help other entrepreneurs. And like we say, we want to work with cool people. So there's a few things that we do for the application process there. The email address is my personal company email address. So that is Byron, which is spelled BYRON, at survivalfrog.com. Frog like the animal. So that's my personal business, and that's my personal email address. And I can give you a phone number as well, but I will just request if someone reaches out, text me, because I rarely answer the phone directly, just because of all the other crazy calls I get. But if you text, it's really good. And that phone number is 303-803-2778. And again, my name is Byron. So love to talk with whoever has any questions about EO and see if it's a good fit.
Excellent. So again, I'm going to put all this information down here on the description, so you guys can just go link directly and see all this information. So with that, Byron, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for all this great info, and I hope I wish you the best for the rest of the year. And holidays are coming up, so with that too, I have one last surprise question for you. So are you ready?
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word, I would say engagement, meaning just getting into it, really diving into whatever you're doing, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's personal, whether it's, your spouse, engagement, because I really think that, anyone who's engaged is a happy, fulfilled person. So, and I had never been asked that question. So, but that's a word I use quite often.
Excellent answer. Thank you for that. That's a beautiful, motivating concept that you just shared with us. And let's engage some more then. So thank you, Byron. And until next time.
Thank you, Ricardo. All right.